Right guys, welcome back. It has been a while. It'd probably be the time to use a cliche excuse that I have been busy, but I don't think there is an excuse for being missing for about 12 months. But today I am back with another career mode. Previously I have done an Oldham career mode, which is probably the most popular series that has ever been on the channel, even though some series have had like 2 episodes, but we'll ignore that. Today there's something slightly different, which as you can see by the title it is a modded career mode, which means because I've now got FIFA on PC, that means that I can implement other things. So as you can probably see already at the top left, we have the Hayside badge, which is the local team that I play for, with the manager being David Milligan, and also the team has been renamed. So like every other Oldham career mode series, I'm going to go through the players just so that you know who's who, because there are quite a few new faces as well as the originals that have been here from the very start. Starting off in net we have Michael, who I think has been in the series all the way from the start. This year he's playing in net. He can also play as an attacking mid or a striker, which gives us that little bit more versatility when we've got quite a few games coming up this season. As a result, we've got more players to choose from in our squad. Next up we have Jack, who as you can see from the card on the right has got great pace and he's also got great stamina. Like Michael, he can also play as a keeper, and will probably play maybe half of the games in net if Michael does go outfield. Obviously the stamina is going to come in helpful when, like I said before, we've got quite a lot of games coming up this season as we are going into League 2. We've also got cup matches which we probably will get further than the other teams in. Next up we have Connor, part of our centre back duo. Both centre backs are quite similar in how they are rated and also the physicality of them. Neither are very quick, which could be a problem. Connor can also play as a target man, so if we are losing the game we could chuck him up front, launch some long balls and hopefully he could get us a few goals here and there. Next up we have Reese, the other half of our centre back pairing. Like I said before, we do lack pace in central defence, which could be a problem, especially in lower leagues where pacey strikers is all that you need to break through the defence. But I think our strength makes up for that and our defensive qualities. I think he's a bit stronger than Connor as well, so we have got the strength at the back, it's just whether they can keep up with the opposition strikers. At left back we have Kingit, who is able to get forward from the left hand side and whip in some good balls as well as pinging some over the top as well. Bit of a lack of pace, which could leave him a little bit caught out at times when he does go forward, but luckily the centre backs should be okay at staying back. In central midfield we have Josh Cocker, who is an all round player, probably the most complete player on the field. Brilliant dribbling, good stamina, good pace, passes are also decent, can play pretty much anywhere on the pitch. So hopefully he'll be a valuable asset to our team. Alongside him we have Mark, more the defensive side of the midfield rather than getting forward. I think once again one of the strongest players in the squad and also not very quick as a result of that. Left footed and is probably going to be our free kick taker over on the right hand side. He's also a decent aerial threat, so we can hopefully get him up for a few corners and maybe get a few goals this season. On the right wing we have Dom. Great pace, great dribbling, decent shooting, probably going to be the one to cut inside and also dribble past the defenders, and hopefully he can also swing in a good few crosses as well to our striker. On the left we have Topham, not the quickest of wingers, not the most agile of wingers as well, more on the taller side. As a result of his height he is fairly strong and hopefully he can use that against the opposition full-backs who probably won't be able to cope with the strength of him. In centre forward we have Alex, not the fastest nor the tallest, probably more going to play just in that number 10 role and hopefully feed the striker as well as having a few goals for himself. Up front we have Peter, great pace, great finishing, decent dribbling, a good all round player as well, could probably play him wherever we need him, is centre mid if we need to. It all depends who's up front at the time and he can just play anywhere on the pitch pretty much. Moving on to the bench we have Big Sam Burniston, going to be filling the sticks quite literally. Probably not going to be used very much because he's not very good as a keeper or anywhere else really. If we really need Michael and Jack outfield then they're the only games he probably is going to play. As another left back, we have Adam. Like Kingy, not very quick, but solid defensively. Much better defensive work rates than Kingy, not getting forward as much. Can play on either side of a back four and also as a defensive midfielder. As our backup right back, we have Ryan. Fairly quick, not as quick as Jack, certainly not the most physical of players. Decent dribbling when he's getting forward, not too bad defensively, and not too bad at going forward as well. As a defensive mid, we have Robbie, a good all-rounder, can also play further forward and also further back. Good stamina in the middle of midfield, also great passing, decent dribbling, so you can pretty much play anywhere in that midfield. As another midfielder, we have Todd. Great passer, going to be pinging them long balls over the top into the strikers and the wingers. Not too quick, maybe one of the slower players in the squad, and he's probably going to be playing that deep lying playmaker role, just playing the balls through. On the right wing we have myself, can probably play on either side of the pitch, as well as also as a wing back. Probably going to be benching myself a lot as well. On the opposite side we have Luke, not the quickest again, but a brilliant dribbler and also a decent finisher, so he can also play just behind that striker, probably where Alex is in the first team. Can play on either side of the pitch and also in the middle as well. Moving into the reserves, we now have Connor Knowles, and an even slower fullback now, and obviously not as good. Not much I can really say, to be honest, because there's nothing that stands out really. As another centre back, we have the man that simply defines have it. Fairly quick, probably the quickest centre back we have, I think, but he just isn't very good. Ball playing is not his strongest asset, as you can see by the technical stats such as the passing and dribbling. It's just going to be long balls from him. Another centre back we have Charlie, a more ambitious centre back we can say, venturing forward with the ball and putting his team at risk, but fairly strong, very aggressive is probably the right word to say. It's just whether his tackles are as good as that. Another centre back we have Jaden, more solid defensively and also fairly strong. Not the quickest, not the best technically, but he's not too bad at defending, which is probably better than Bello and Charlie combined, probably, let's be honest. Another defensive mid we have Kane, not the tallest, more of a Kante without the technical ability. Not too bad at dribbling actually. He can also play as a centre back, obviously not a tall one, more like a Mascherano, aggressive, not very strong, and okay defensively. Next up we have Matthew, brilliant interceptions, always in the right place at the right time, not the quickest, not the best technically, but he gets the job done, and that's what matters when you're in the defensive midfield position. Pretty sure he's one of the players that's also been here since the very start of the series. Next up we have Kai, who probably isn't going to be outpacing anyone anytime soon. 41 pace might not do the job. Dribbling's not too bad, shooting's okay, passing doesn't exist, and stamina is also in that same boat, doesn't exist at all. Even with his run, as we might call it, doesn't get him half the length of the pitch. Playing probably more as a wing back, we have Bailey, decent at getting forward and back, one of the quicker fullbacks, also decent at dribbling, and I think that's pretty much it for everyone in this squad. I've also added a few other teams and a few other players which are playing for those teams. So as you can see on the table there, you've got Mosley, which is another team in our Sunday League division, and there's also a few others which you will see in our first game of the season. Coincidentally, we have got a team that I have modified, which is Chaddy Park. This is probably the biggest team in the division, aside from ours, because they've also got some players that I've created as well. Just to go through the table so that you know who's who and what teams have added. We are in League 2 and we have got, I think, the best squad in the division, but to make up for that I'm playing on ultimate difficulty with sliders in favour of the opposition. Not much of a difference, but apparently the marking positioning as a slider is quite a big factor. So as you can see in the table, we've got Radcliffe, Park Woodden, Failsworth, Whitworth Park. Viper Supremos are probably our biggest rivals in the division. Moston, Mosley, ourselves and Chaddy Park. You can see that some of them aren't in order. That's because the teams that I've replaced would usually be in that place. So us as Hayes side would usually be Oldham, hence why it's between M and P. and the same goes for the other clubs. Once the table changes, it won't make a difference at all. Like I said, I've added some players to Shady Park, so hopefully they will be playing, but we all know how well the computer signings are. For example, Edin Visca has just signed for PSG, and I don't even know who he is really. So hopefully the best players should be playing for them, so that I can also go through what players we could potentially sign in the future, and also who their best players at the club are. Forgot to mention we've also added the kits. So that is our home kit, and also the away kit is similar to England's World Cup one last year, just like a plain white with blue sleeves. We've also got the stripe because I found it a bit too plain just on its own, and that's why I've actually added a little bit more to it. So we're going to go in the home kit today, as you'd expect. Well, Shady Park are going to be representing their famous yellow. That kit is just the same as the Norwich kit, while the away kit is the Yeovil Town home kit, which is the team that they've replaced anyway, so we won't be getting any kit clashes with them two teams. They're going to be going in the yellow today. As you can see at the top, we've got our stadium, which is a stadium we've took from the journey, so the training stadium from there represents our own team's stadium, and there's a few other new stadiums that usually wouldn't be in the game but I've been able to use due to the modding. So I'm going to bring the marking positioning up to 65 for the computer so that they mark better against our forwards, and I'm going to bring ours down to 35. This makes it a lot more open in terms of how the computer plays, because usually they just pass it around the back, so they should be able to get a few through balls in now behind our defence. It also makes it harder for us to attack, which gives it a bit more of a challenge. Playing all season, I don't know how it'll affect the table too much. We should win the majority of games because we have got the strongest side in the division, but obviously due to the difficulty it should be a bit more of a challenge. Right, here we are. As you can see, new stadium, wouldn't usually be able to use this. There are a few issues with using this stadium. It's not the best for matches. As you can see in the corner, there's players coming out of the ground and there's a guy going through a fence. But aside from that, it should be quite interesting to use new stadiums, even though they're not perfectly suited for playing games at. There's our manager David Milligan, that's the closest I could find. Like I said, there's the subs that walk into the other side of the pitch. Where's he going? Not sure they're supposed to be doing that. You'll also see, like, at half time the fourth official will come on with his board and start walking across the pitch, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Here's our lineup for today. Michael starts in net, Jack, Connor, Reese and Kingy in defence, Cocker and Mark in defensive midfield, Topham and Dom out wide, Peter starts up front with Alex just behind him. Shady Park's lineup, they get Jack in goalkeeper, I think I had him last series, maybe, I'm not sure. Brad Holt is there, left centre back, Spencer on the right wing and Travis up front. I think that's all who I added, so they're playing them all, which is good because they're their best players. Right, here we go, first game of the season, hopefully we can get a win, but it could be hard because this is, I think Shady Park are probably the second best team in the league. This is our first challenge. Oh, Connor's giving it away, won it back though. Shaky start, but it's fine so far. Jack's giving it away now, Connor's there to clean up. You can tell already that his marking's made a massive impact to how the computer plays, because there's literally no one open. There's always someone covering like there. Oh, that's beautiful from Dom. I'm not sure if that was a nutmeg. Here's Peter. Oh, we've run a free kick in a dangerous position here. It's given away from Smith. He gets a yellow card for it. Mark's our left-footed taker. I mean, the goals aren't great, but they still work how they should do. I've tried that out. Hopefully he can get it over the wall. Just over the bar, even though the bar doesn't exist. Well, yeah, it was just over the goal. Over the net. It's not too bad. Not a bad first effort. He can probably get us a few free kick goals this season. Here's Alex. Play it through to Topham. Going to cut inside. Blocked off by the defender, but it's not enough for a penalty, is it? Here's Alex. Play it through to Peter. Just a little bit too much on it. It's easy for the defence, but he wins it back. Here's Topham going to cut onto his right side. Alex gets his head, and it's a goal. First goal of the series scored by Alex. Not the tallest, but he still gets his head to it unmarked at that near post. It's just a little turn onto his right foot, crosses it in, and it's an easy header for Alex in the end. Just wasn't watching him at all. It's a great start to the series, 1-0. Alex starts off the scoring. Here's Peter. cuts in. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Don't get sent off. It's a yellow, it's fine. I meant to cross, but obviously the defender won it back, and that means he has to slide tackle him. King plays it to Dom. He's been outstrengthed by Smith. He's a quick and stronger defender, Smith. It's going to take a lot to beat him, but we do go in at the break 1-0 up. Great start from us, not so much from the title contenders as you could say. Right, second half, hopefully we can keep this up. Travis is out wide. Plays it into Khan on the volley. It's blocked by Jack in the end. I think it would have been on target as well. He's just beating the defence too easy there. Travis hits the post. Oh, where the post should be is Alex. To Dom. Plays it through to Peter, and it could be 2-0, but he's offside. Like I said, the linesman decides to go on walkabouts when there's a substitution or something to be made. He's decided to venture onto the pitch. It's fine, he's back over there now. Oh, that's not good, is it? Mark's got an injury in the first game of the series. Hopefully he's not going to be out for long. It does give us a chance to show our other players. Not sure why everyone's tired. What have they been doing? Why is Todd dead? We're going to have to put Robbie on because I'm not sure what he's been doing on that bench. Oh, so Gray's sat on him and I think stamped on him. No wonder he's down. The game's looking a bit dreary at the moment, not much is happening, so I'm going to attempt to bring a bit more excitement. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Me on the left and Luke in the middle, that could work. It's a brilliant flick from Dom over the top. Crossed in, here's Robbie. Oh, it's a brilliant save from Jack Gaffney in the opposition's goal. There's the linesman again wandering onto the pitch. Luke's going to whip in a corner. Pete's going to try and get his head. Doesn't. Falls to me. No one's really open. Here's Peter. Plays it into Luke. Luke turns. Tries to cross it in. Gets past the man. Falls to me. And that's a dreadful header, I can't even lie. I'm not known for my heading ability. Well, maybe the lack of it is evident there. Given away by Robbie in a dangerous place. Smith plays it through to Zoko. Reese isn't going to catch him. That's a poor attempt in the end. Easier for Michael to pick up. The linesman's having a wander again. I think he actually got in the way here. He might have played a part in this attack. It conforms to nothing anyway. And that's the end of the game. 1-0. Not an exciting game to start with, but that's because the teams are very even. Not many chances created from either side. Mark's out for 7 months with an ACL. That's not a good start, is it? Well, our next game will be against Accrington with the absence of Mark and probably a few more other players because it's clear that people are tired. Robbie's probably going to be filling his place for the next few months. Luke might be better suited to that. I'll go with Kane on the bench just as the defensive midfielder. But I think that's all it's going to be for today. I have put a lot of work into this, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you do leave a like. Comment what you want me to do in this series. One thing I was thinking of asking is when we do get up to the higher tiers, do we keep this ground, this stadium, or do we upgrade to a bigger stadium? Because it'd be quite nice to see a rise in success for a former Sunday League team to a League 2 team, then possibly to a Champions League winning team. Hopefully we can see that rise in this series. Like I said before, please leave a like on the video and I'll see you all next time.